AI is, well, it's one of the most powerful forces of our time, isn't it? It has the potential to reshape, well, pretty much everything. But, like any powerful tool, it comes with risks. So to navigate this new world, we really need a guidebook, a framework for taming AI's perils while we unlock all of its promise. And today, we're unpacking that exact guide.
And that's the huge question, right? As these incredibly complex systems get woven into the fabric of our lives, from how we shop to our healthcare, we have to ask, how do we make sure they're built and used responsibly? How do we build trust in a technology that can, let's be honest, sometimes feel like a total black box? That's the challenge we're going to dig into today.
So before we can even get to the solution, we have to really wrap our heads around the problem. And with AI, what we're facing is a classic dilemma, a technology of incredible, almost contradictory dualities.
I mean, on one hand, you have this immense promise. Just think about AI helping to discover new medicines, or making our energy grid way more efficient. It's incredible stuff. But then, on the other hand, there's the peril. An AI hiring tool could, without anyone meaning for it to, learn to discriminate against certain people, just making existing problems even worse. It's this razor's edge between promise and peril that we absolutely have to learn how to manage.
Now, you might be thinking, hey, we've been managing software at risk for decades. What's so different here? Well, turns out, a lot, actually. Unlike the software we're used to, AI systems are completely dependent on data that can change or drift over time. They operate at a mind-boggling scale and complexity, with billions of decision points. And crucially, they can be opaque, making it incredibly difficult to figure out why they mess up when they do. This is a whole new ballgame.
Okay, so if we're going to manage these really unique risks, we need a clear destination. We have to define what good actually looks like in this new world. And the goal isn't just to make AI that works, it's to make AI that is trustworthy.
So what does trustworthy actually mean, according to the NIST framework's vision? Well, it's not just one thing. It's really a combination of 7 distinct, interlocking characteristics that, when you put them all together, create a system we can actually rely on.
First, let's talk about the absolute foundations, the non-negotiables. An AI has to be valid and reliable, which just means it actually does what it's supposed to do, and it does it consistently. And it must be safe, making sure it doesn't put people, property, or the environment in danger. Seriously, if an AI can't meet these 2 basic criteria, nothing else really matters. Building on that foundation, we get to the parts that ensure we can actually understand and control the system. First, it has to be secure and resilient, so it can handle attacks or just weird, unexpected events. Next, it has to be accountable and transparent, so there's a clear record of what it did. And, this one is huge, it needs to be explainable and interpretable. This gives us a way to peek inside that black box and understand how it's making its decisions.
And right at the top, we have the characteristics that connect AI with our deepest societal values. It must be privacy-enhanced to protect human dignity. And it absolutely must be fair, with real processes in place to manage and reduce harmful bias. This makes a really crucial point. A system can't be called trustworthy unless it's designed from the ground up with equality and equity in mind.
Okay, so we have our goal, a trustworthy AI, defined by those 7 characteristics. Awesome, but how do we get there? That is where the guidebook comes in, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework, or the RMF.
At its heart, the RMF is a resource. Think of it as a structured approach that any organization, from a tiny startup to a massive government agency, can use to think through the risks of an AI system, manage them, and ultimately build better, more trustworthy tech. And what's really interesting here is the whole philosophy behind how this thing was designed. It's voluntary, not some mandatory regulation. It's flexible and non-prescriptive, so it's more of a guide, not a rigid checklist you have to follow. It's also a living document that's meant to evolve with the technology, and it was consensus-driven, built with input from all sorts of people. This tells you it's not a top-down mandate, it's a guide for all of us.
Okay, let's get into the practical side. How does this framework actually work? Well, it's organized around 4 core functions that create this continuous cycle for managing AI risk. The core of the framework is built around these 4 key functions: govern, map, measure, and manage. And you should think of these as the pillars of a continuous, ongoing process, not some one-and-done checklist. So let's start with the foundation: govern. Everything starts with govern, and this is a really key insight of the framework. It's all about creating a culture of risk management across the entire organization, not just stuck in a silo with the tech team. This means having clear policies,
knowing who is accountable, making sure you have diverse teams making decisions, and actively talking with anyone who might be affected by the AI.
Next up, we map. I mean, you can't manage a risk you don't understand, right? This function is all about establishing the context. What is this AI system even supposed to do? Who's it going to impact? What are its limits? Mapping helps you figure out the potential good and bad impacts before you get too far down the development road.
So once you've mapped out the landscape, you need to measure. This is where you bring in the tools, both the hard numbers and the qualitative analysis to really check on those risks. It's about picking the right metrics, checking the system against those 7 characteristics of trustworthiness we talked about, and just continuously tracking how it's doing over time.
And finally, we manage. This is the action step. This is where the rubber meets the road. Based on everything you've mapped and measured, you prioritize the risks and decide what to do about them. That might mean trying to reduce a risk, avoiding it completely, or maybe even deciding to accept it. It's all about a continuous process of learning and getting better.
So we have the goal, trustworthy AI, and we have a 4-part method to help us get there. But you know, this framework isn't just some technical document. It's really a call to action.
You see, adopting a structured approach like the RMF has benefits that ripple out through an entire organization. It's not just about better technical processes. It makes everyone more aware of the critical trade-offs, it creates clearer lines of accountability, and ultimately, it strengthens the entire culture around safety and responsibility.
The framework's own text really sums up the goal perfectly. It says it offers a path to minimize negative impacts while maximizing positive impacts. And that shows the goal here isn't to stop innovation. Not at all. It's to guide it, to find that path where we can get all the amazing benefits of AI while protecting ourselves from the very real harms.
Look, the NIST AI Risk Management Framework gives us a common language and a shared set of tools for everyone involved in AI. It's a powerful guide for building a future where AI is not just intelligent, but also trustworthy. So the crucial question that's left is really for all of us to answer. The guidebook is here. Are we ready to pick it up and actually use it?